My 11th grade student asked, how do I tell my husband I don't want to get married? Before I had a chance to respond, she started explaining how her parents had arranged her marriage to a 34-year-old man from their hometown in Pakistan. The wedding was set for December 28 during winter break. She'd be flown out December 20th and wouldn't be coming back. Today was the 16th, 4 days before they'd take her away forever. I asked if she'd told her parents how she felt, and she laughed bitterly before saying they knew but didn't care. This marriage would bring their family status and connections they wanted back home. Her feelings meant nothing. She pulled out her phone and showed me texts from the man. Google translated messages about how beautiful she was in the photos her parents sent, how many children he wanted. Each message made her hands shake more. I asked if she had any relatives who might help, an aunt or uncle who could intervene. She shook her head. Everyone was either back in Pakistan or fully supported the marriage. Even her older sister, who'd been married at 17, told her to stop being dramatic and accept her duty. I told her I'd tell Principal Franz, but he already knew and had chosen to do nothing. He was worried about cultural sensitivity or legal complications. Easier to let a bright girl disappear than risk controversy. The system had failed her completely. She asked and begged me what she should do. I gave her the number for a women's shelter that specialized in forced marriage cases, told her they had lawyers and safe houses, that she had rights even if her parents said otherwise. She typed the number into her phone with shaking fingers. Her friends memorized it too in case her phone got taken. The next day, Aaliyah didn't come to school, or the day after. Her friends said her parents had found the shelter's number in her phone and accused her of bringing shame to the family. They'd moved the flight up to the next day, December 18th. One of them had seen a car full of relatives arrive at Aaliyah's house to make sure she didn't run. I called Child Protective Services, filed reports, demanded meetings, but I only had 24 hours at that point. By the time I got an email back saying they'd look into it, December 18th had come and gone. She was already on a plane to Pakistan. I spent that night researching everything I could about forced marriages in Pakistan, the laws, the shelters, the organizations that helped girls escape. The next morning, I did something insane. I bought a plane ticket to Karachi, maxed out my credit card for a flight leaving that afternoon. I didn't speak Urdu, didn't know the city, had no plan beyond finding her before December 28th, but I couldn't just sit at home grading papers while she was forced into marriage. My wife thought I'd lost my mind. The principal threatened to fire me for abandoning my classes, but I kept seeing Aaliyah's face when she'd ask for help. The flight was 22 hours with layovers. I used the time to research her hometown, found the mosque where weddings happened, located women's rights lawyers in the area, though most seemed too scared to take forced marriage cases, downloaded translation apps and maps, prepared for something I had no business attempting. I landed in Karachi on December 22nd. I took a taxi to a cheap hotel and started making calls. The women's shelter I'd given Aaliyah, local activists, anyone who might help. Most hung up when they heard my American accent. Others listened politely, then explained I didn't understand their culture. One lawyer said even if I found her, her parents would never let me near her. I was a foreign man. It would be seen as an attack on their honor. I could end up arrested or worse. December 24th. I hired a driver to take me to her hometown 2 hours outside Karachi. We drove through countryside that looked beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Mountains in the distance, villages with no signs of modern life, places where a 16-year-old girl could disappear forever. The town was smaller than I'd imagined. Dusty streets, market stalls, women in full coverings, and men who stared at the obvious outsider. I had the driver ask about the wedding, where the girl from America was staying. Most people turned away, but finally an old woman pointed to a walled compound on the hill. December 25th. I watched that compound from a distance. Saw cars arriving with wedding supplies. Caught a glimpse of someone who might have been Aaliyah through an upstairs window. Or maybe just wishful thinking. I couldn't get closer without causing an incident that would only make things worse. December 26th. I tried the legal route again. Found a courthouse and tried to file something, but I had no standing. No proof or right to interfere in family matters. The clerk looked at me with pity and suggested I go home before I got hurt. December 27th. I was desperate. 1 day left. I'd flown halfway around the world and accomplished nothing. Aaliyah was still trapped in that compound, still facing marriage to a stranger. I'd failed her just like everyone else had. That night, I hired the driver one more time. Told him to take me past the compound slowly. Maybe I could see her. Signal somehow that someone had tried, that she hadn't been forgotten. It was pathetic, but all I had left. As we drove by, I saw lights and celebration preparations. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown international number. My hands shook as I opened the message. 4 words that made me drop the phone. Go back to your country or there will be consequences. Full story on channel linked below.